Hi, Michael Albor here, Artistic Director from Matrix, here in beautiful New York City at HairClub. This afternoon I got to do Isabelle's hair. She has gorgeous hair by HairClub with beautiful color by Matrix. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna do a kind of quick, soft, Bohemian Up-style that she can wear for fun or also to something really formal. You wanna try that?
Yes.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna separate her hair forward right around the ears. So I'm gonna put a clip here just so you can kind of see where I'm separating the hair. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing right on the other side. And kind of clip that hair right out of the way. And then I'm gonna go to the back. So what happens when we're working on the back of the head, a lot of times when we do chignons or we place hair together, it's only placed in a ball in one kind of place, right? But I kind of want to see the hair from the front of our head, from side to side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide and conquer. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of my texture builder just to get a little bit more texture to this hair. So I'm gonna spritz it right through. What I love also is Isabelle actually colored this hair using some of these dusty tones from Matrix in their water color series. And I love that because that's really what's happening for this new year. 2019, all these really soft kind of colors are coming back. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a rubber band on my finger with one small bobby pin, and I'm gonna separate this back section into three. So when I move it, I'm gonna take my rubber band, I'm gonna take this section, I'm gonna take the rubber band, I'm gonna wrap it around the hair, and then where this loop is, I'm gonna stick the bobby pin into the loop, and that's just gonna hold my hair in place for me, and then just push it around. Then I'll do the second one in the middle. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take the rubber band, I'm gonna hold it with my index finger, wrap it around, and then I'm gonna place the bobby pin inside that little loop, and then just twist it around, and then pin it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with that last piece. Just pulling it down, holding it on my index finger, pulling the loop around, sticking the bobby pin through the loop, and then that's gonna tighten that up for me. And then I'm gonna pull it and turn it around and pin it in. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just rope softly each of these. And to do that, I'm gonna use a little bit more of my texture builder. And then I'm gonna rope each one of these sections just loosely. So when I rope this hair, I'm gonna twist it one way and around and one way and around. So turn, up and around, turn, up and around, turn, up and around, turn, up and around. I'm gonna do that with each one. Twist one way and up and around, twist one way, up and around, twist one way, up and around, all the way down, creating this rope. And you're gonna see that they kind of, because of our texture builder in there, I'm not even having to band the ends because they're kind of holding together on their own. And then I'm gonna take one little piece of hair and then just kind of pull it up on each one. And what that's gonna do is kind of just destruct them a little bit. Deconstruction is kind of everything. Everything that we're doing right now is a little bit soft and airy. My favorite thing is to add deconstructed styles with really polished pieces. So you're seeing a lot of polished pieces coming back into vogue right now. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start wrapping these roped pieces around and just pinning them. The important thing about pinning them is what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna open my bobby pins. You guys know that I stress that all the time. If you open the bobby pin, what's gonna happen is it's gonna weaken the bobby pin and it's not gonna hold anything. That's what we tend to do anytime we're trying to pin in a bulk of hair, but we don't wanna do that. Instead, what we're gonna do is just take our bobby pin, find a piece of hair, and just kind of weave it. By doing that, bobby pins are only made to take that much hair that's in the end of the bobby pin. It's gonna actually hold like a rock. So then we'll take this one and wrap that around and just pin it into place. So by dividing and conquering and also dividing this hair, also what happens is the hair's softer. It doesn't feel really tight on someone's head in one position. So pull this last piece down, really push it, and then just pin it in. What's great is you also see that I don't really have to wrap my rubber bands underneath with this type of texture. All I'm doing is just pinning and using my coils to kind of wrap around that hair. So now we have this really messy, kind of bohemian, Victorian chignon in the back. Let's move to our sides. So as we move to our sides, we're gonna use and make these sides a little more polished. And to do that, I'm gonna use some of Raw's new frizz control, which is gonna really keep her hair from frizzing up as she dances the day away. And I'm gonna just mist it. What it's also gonna do is add great sheen and shine and polish to the hair. So I'm gonna lightly brush that through and you can see how it just silkens the hair up right away. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take horizontal sections, and remember I said that I like to add polish to kind of very textured styles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just comb this down, I'm gonna put my finger here, kind of almost like in a pincher, and I'm just gonna lightly pull this hair and then pin this back into a soft kind of wave pattern. I use the comb to kind of hold the hair so that I can work and visually back away from the hair to also just see exactly what I'm doing before I go in and pin the hair. Again, what I'm doing is you can see I'm actually not going to open my bobby pin again. I'm just gonna take a little piece of hair, wrap it around that section, and it's gonna hold it right in place for me. So now I'm gonna take another horizontal section, right at the hairline. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna move it, and what it's gonna start doing is giving me this really pretty kind of draping around the side of her head. Hold my pin, look at it in the mirror, decide that that's the place where I want to pin it, and then I'll go back in. I'll take a little piece of hair from underneath, take it, and then stitch it right over, and that's gonna hold that right into place. So now let's go with our last section. This is where I can really decide where I want it to lay on the side of her head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my comb and I'm just gonna push the hair till I like exactly where that hair drapes right onto her face. God, she is so beautiful. And now I'm gonna use my comb again. Once my comb is in there, it's gonna hold the hair temporarily for me, and I can move that hair anywhere that I want it, make it softer. How about if we just pull a piece of hair out too? And then I'm gonna pin it into place. Again, I'm taking one little piece of hair from the underneath. So that little piece of hair is gonna hold all that hair and just up and over, and then pinning into place. And then once it's pinned, we'll look again. Let's pull a little more hair out, very pretty. And now we're gonna go to our aerosol. So I'm gonna use something called Volume Fixer. Volume Fixer is an amazing hairspray by Matrix. It's in our Style Link line. And what it allows me to do, it's a brushable hairspray. So it's gonna give me hold, but in the form of texture. And again, if you heard me before, anytime we use aerosols, it's as far away as the can is in length, 12 to 14 inches, is as far away as we want to spray the product on the hair. If you spray the product too close, it's gonna be wet. And aerosols are meant to go on the hair dry. They're made to create more and more texture. The more you spray them, they're not made to make the hair stiff. If we wanted to go more to a stiff hairspray, we would go to a pump. So let's make sure that we're far enough away. And you can already see, I'm loving how this is more silky, and then this in the back is more textured. So now let's go to our other side. And the other thing I love is as I'm working with her hair, it's pretty seamless. You know, it just moves exactly the way that I want it to. So it's so awesome. And the color is so beautiful as well. Like working with it. So now we're gonna take another diagonal section from the other side. Now we're working on the other side of the head. So again, I'm gonna use my pincher and I'm just gonna pull the hair and drape it right over, and then use my comb to hold it. So let's take another section. So another horizontal section. So we're combing it down, and then we're gonna just drape it as we go back. We're gonna hold it with our comb, and then just kind of work it around and make sure that we like what that looks like. I think I do. And then we're gonna take a piece of hair from underneath, tuck it around, pin in. So now let's go to our last section. Let's leave out another piece of hair. And then I'm just gonna lightly kind of push-pull these pieces. Remember, I'm wanting the back to seem a lot more textured and the sides to seem a lot more polished. You know, that's what we're really seeing in hair right now. It's multi-combinations of textures into one style. Very smooth and polished to very textured. And then another thing I think she needs is I think every girl needs a little bling. What do you think?
Yes.
You want some bling?
Yeah.
Okay, so accessories are everything right now. So we're seeing a ton of accessories. So I'm just gonna use these little accessories. They're little hairpins with some jewels on them. This, you'll see me open it, and I'm not putting them in to hold anything. I'm just putting them in just for a little bit of excitement. Put 3 of those. Normally what I like to work in is odd numbers, 3s, 5s, things like that. So I feel like 3s are pretty good. So I can't wait till you get to have a mirror and see this because you are gorgeous. I'm gonna give it one final spray with my volume fixer. And here she is, our beautiful model, Isabelle.